Good morning everyone and welcome back. It seems like quite a while since I've actually been in the cow shed. I've been away for the last week. I had a couple of days down in Wellington at a dairy environment leaders conference. That was very cool. It was my second year going actually. It's very big picture stuff, but it's also very interesting seeing sort of where the dairy industry is heading. And it's also quite cool to meet some very cool people and listen to them as well. Then for the last 5 days we've been away up the Coromandel with Holly's family. It was cool. It was our second year up there at a little cove. I'll try and put some footage in there of where we stayed, but it's an awesome place. Back in the day I think 22 or 26 families went into a syndicate and they bought this farm and we stayed it, and then they put up these little huts which you should be able to see in the video there. So that was very cool, and the weather was pretty good. Caught a few fish, although it is good to be home and it is pretty busy at the moment. The diggers turned up. Rhys has actually turned up this morning too. He turned up at 7, so that's a good early start for him. He's tracking it down to the next job, which is over the back there in the deer block. Sun's not up, but it looks like it's going to be a bluebird. Absolutely awesome morning. And there's a big pile of hedge right there. So yesterday he ripped out this bit of hedge along there. It was just really holy, needed replacing, and it definitely looks a bit different now, doesn't it? I think it looks good now though, and we'll have to get dug in at some point and we'll fence that. Probably put a new fence the whole way along there. And I also want to stick a gate down the bottom from this paddock into the race just to make it so much easier. It should have been done years ago, but we're getting there slowly, ticking things off. Forgot she was a bit of a slow one, so might be a little bit of a wait. Cows have dropped a little bit in production, sort of slid down. I was hoping they weren't going to, but they have. We are sort of coming to the end of the season, I guess. Mornings are getting pretty cool actually. This morning I almost had to put sleeves on in the milking shed. It was, yeah, my fingers were getting pretty cold. But yeah, we shouldn't be too far off going to every second day pickup. So at the moment the tanker comes every day. And once we go to every second day, it's quite good because, yeah, you don't have to wash the vat every day. Hopefully, it's not too far away. Just shot home for a coffee for breakfast, and I'm supposed to be meeting Dad down here any minute now. I think he did say 10:30, which is just gone. But I'd like to also say a big welcome to anyone that has come over from iFarm, WeFarm. Adrian did give me a little bit of a shout out in one of his latest videos, and he was talking about the weather, how he enjoys seeing just such good weather down here in New Zealand, and we do. Today is certainly no exception. Look at that, like an absolute ripper. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, it's a bluebird. It's a little bit on the chilly side, but it is a beautiful autumn's day. And I do understand it's been pretty tough up there in the UK/Ireland. You've had a very wet winter / early spring, and it makes things a little bit on the challenging side, especially around getting slurry out, and cows are still indoors. So hopefully you do see a bit of a dry spell at some point soon, that is. But what we're actually going to do now is measure up this area through here, because once Rhys is finished over the back there, we're going to get him to level out this area or just scrape it. We're going to put weed matting down, then put a little bit of sand over the top, and then stick a bit of rock on top of that to make it nice and flat through here, and it'll be quite a nice area once we do that. I need to organise some sand too, so I'll get good rights to bring in a load maybe tomorrow morning. I'm hoping he's going to be over the back for at least about a day and a half by the time we sort out that culvert. He's just doing a few little drains over there, scraping off a few piles of drain cleaners. We'll go and check it out later on, and then he should be over this side. I actually need to see if they can come and pick these up again. Made a bit of a mistake. I said can I have some culvert crossings, but these aren't sturdy enough to put in and have tractors driving over them. So Good Rights have got some in their yard. They're like seconds, but they're good enough for what we want. And need to see if I can return these. Hopefully I can. I actually had a little bit of an unexpected busy morning there. The last sort of hour and a half, I've actually caught up with the fellas from Koroniki because yesterday the digger cleaned out this drain through here. It needed doing, it needed a bit of the sediment pulled out. It was just full of weeds and it was backing up. So we've cleaned the drain, and the reason I got them out is because I really want to plant this stretch of drain out. It's not a massive section, it's just from those trees there down this way to that corner right there. I think it's about 200 meters. And what I want to do is pull the fence on this side out a couple of meters from where it is now. The other side needs a new fence, so we'll stick 2 new fences, probably 3 wire, and get 2 rows of plants down the whole way, so more sort of flaxes, and then the one on the closest side to the paddock would be more of like a hardwood species, with the whole intention of getting sort of shade over the water and creating a bit of a habitat down there, so less sediment gets in the drain, and then it also shades it a little bit and helps with water quality. So I got them to come out and have a little look. I was interested to know what to plant and give me a bit of a price. So not including the fences, there would be about 500 plants that went in here, and it would be looking at about $2,500. So that's including the plants, planting out, spraying out, and I think, did they say maybe a release or maybe not a release? So to get the job done, we're looking at about 2.5, excluding the fences, which I think's pretty reasonable. It would be quite nice to do the stretch. I've wanted to do it for a while now, so I have put it to Dad, and he gave me the green light. But I might also see if I can find like a little bit of funding somewhere. Would definitely help, but if we've got to do it ourselves, I'm not too worried. I think it's going to be an awesome little project. If we can just do little ones each year, that would be pretty awesome. So that's what I've been doing for the last couple of hours, trying to sort this out, and it just so happened to be that they were only actually next door, and they were able to pop in and have a look, which was pretty cool. I forget what they called it, but this green sort of flaxy stuff, they would plant a little bit of this, which sort of works in places. It's a rhizominous plant, so it spreads quite quickly. That's just native, and it's just been brought in and working quite well. So from here up it pretty much is. And we wouldn't have to move the fence too far, but yeah, go for a 3 wire, move that probably out to about here, so we're not losing too much, and yeah, we can get 2 rows of plants the whole way along. Stagger them, but get two rows of plants the whole way along. I think it would look absolutely awesome once it's done. Look real cool. Ted's actually here at the moment too, giving the hedges a bit of their annual haircut. I think I can hear him just up there somewhere, but the cows are coming on to their last break of chicory today, and then that is it. They're finishing up. So I think Dad got out this morning and he sprayed the top half. Once they're finished in here, we'll give this paddock a little bit of time to recover, and then go through and spray it, and it can go into an annual. The other chicory paddock up there is ready to be drilled, so hopefully that gets done in the next day or 2. And see Rhys is just working down there on the flats. He's just tidying a few of those drains up. Just gets quite boggy down there. Water sits in paddocks, so that should help with a bit of water flow. But talking about grass, I thought I'd come and have a little look at this up here and see how it's getting on. I haven't been here for, as I said, the last week, so it'll be interesting to see what it's like. This annual's got planted, it might have been about a week ago. Actually, I think it was planted about 10 days ago. But it is up. It's a bit hard to see because the ground's all dry. From the shade there it might help, or against my finger, so it's up to there. This stuff bolts though. Yeah, it's a couple of inches. It's looking good. You can sort of see drill rows, but over the next couple of weeks they'll get more defined. It is very hard to see when the ground's dry like this. Because it is only a short-term grass, this, once it comes out of the ground, just absolutely flies along. We did plant with DAP as well, 120 kilos of DAP, which helps it out, and then once it gets its first grazing, we'll put a little bit of urea on behind it just to help it get established. But that's good. That's looking really nice. If you were in the right light, like at night or in the mornings, I reckon you could see a little bit of a green tinge there. But that should bolt over the next couple of weeks. It's actually quite dry again now. Probably wouldn't hurt to get a little bit more rain, and we had some last Friday, I think it was, which was 6 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. And this was planted 2 weeks ago, the mohaka. You can actually see quite a green tinge just out there on the flat. So this is all up. This is looking really good. This is also kind of a short-term grass, so it should fly. I actually haven't planted any of this before, but it's, yeah, probably an inch taller than that annual stuff, although it got planted a little bit earlier. It's looking really good too. Look, clovers come through. Again though, if it was in the right light, you might be able to see a drill row. Well, I can see it here, it just might not show on the camera very well. Looking really, really good, although it will be a good feeling once that chicory's all in new grass too. I think I am going to undersow the odd paddock too. There's one over there that got pugged quite bad in the winter, which I think I'll do with a mohacker as well, just to give it a bit of life, because it hasn't really produced much over the summer. I also sprayed out and drilled a couple of, there's about 5 hectares up by Buck and Gales up there a couple of years ago, and that probably almost needs undersowing too. It is getting quite patchy. It's very hard to see from here, but it's getting very patchy at places, although it doesn't grow the best on that hillside. But yeah, probably needs doing, maybe next season. Look at that. That is a bull catalogue for next year, so that's the first one out. The others can't be too far away. It's worldwide size. I don't actually use them, but I like having a look through them all. I can hear he's getting pretty close to my house, so I thought I'd shoot down and open the odd gate for him, saves him having to do it. There's calves in that paddock too. It just saves him the trouble. It always looks so nice once it's done, nice, clean and tidy. They can't get down this side. There's too much of a distance between the drain, so it's on an angle. It's not nice and square, but that's just how it is around areas like that. Probably be, I don't know, another hour. He's really only got this bit of hedge along there. There's, oh no, he's just done the bit along the drain, so yeah, just another short bit along the race there and done. So maybe not even an hour, although it's pretty bad. It's really bumpy down here. Makes it a little bit hard. This girl's had to change mobs. She was suckling another cow, so she is in my herd at the moment. I've also got to take the calves up. I think they need a drench, and also need to retake a sample from that one there, number 64. I took one a couple of months ago, sent it away for genome testing for CRV, and I just had an email saying they got everything, the envelope and whatnot, plastic bag, except for the sample. The sample wasn't in there. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but I'm going to take it one tomorrow and see. She said the girl that messaged, she lives in a helpo, so she can come and pick it up, which would be pretty good, but it's a job for tomorrow. I'm setting a paddock up for the cows tonight, and it's next to this maize paddock, but the annual in here is absolutely miles ahead of that other one. Look, you can even see the drill rows in here. It's looking really good. It's almost like that mohacker in the first paddock, although maybe even a little bit better than that too. Awesome. Girls are all on. There's still those pasture cages. They are going to get collected in the next couple of days, and then they'll get taken away. The trial has ended, and I will talk more about them soon. Actually, I'll do a video on it soon. I didn't really get down to see Rhys too much today. I think he's got probably like a good half day down the back there, and then when he comes up, another job I'm going to get him to do, which should have been done ages ago. But there's this overhead wire here, and it takes power down the farm, so I'm going to get him to dig a trench down here, and we're going to put underground, because I hate this sort of thing. It just really annoys me. Some machine or some of the big gear we can't get under there, it's just too low. And while he's at it, I'm going to get him to clean this little bit of hedge up too. So we'll rip this little bit out and just tidy this corner up. It'll look much better than how it currently is. I am getting there piece by piece, just small bit by small bit every year. If we continually do these little bits, it all certainly adds up at the end of the day. And once we take it out, it's done. We don't need to do anything from then on, or we sort this corner out, and then it's good for, you know, the next 50 years. It's a little bit like that planting, you know, if you do 200 meters a year, or you budget for that, then at the end of 10 years, you know, that's a couple of K, so it certainly adds up pretty quickly, and it's pretty nice when you look back on it. It's always very rewarding when you look back on stuff like this. I actually haven't really had a look down here, or close look. Looks really good though. A few tree roots, not tree roots, but a few roots in there from the hedge. There was actually a plum tree that sat in there and pulled it down. It's actually on top of that pile over there. It sort of It had been past its use by date a little bit. Stuff was falling off it. It also got a little bit shady down the bottom there, so he's cleaned that up as well. But I was thinking, like I was saying earlier, I might just run a fence straight through there to the road. There is a bit of a fence up there, but we'll take it out and sort of move it on top of the hill there, and that'll look quite tidy. Might go 4-wire just because it is a calf paddock, and then not quite sure how I'll sort this little bit out, but pretty much just move the strainer back so we can get a gate in there, because that'll make one heck of a difference, especially like around the time when we've got cows and calves. It's quite nice to run them into that paddock, but you've got to take them up to the shed and into the yard, then back. So if we could go straight in there, or when we get them out, if we brought back a cow that is calving, they like to come out this bottom end, plus calves. When I'm feeding calves, it'd be nice to bring them out, and also when the bulls are there, you can sort of bring them out. So there's a lot of good advantages of having something there, but it's just getting around to doing it, like I was saying, bit by bit. Just having a bit of a switcheroo at the moment. That tractor got taken off the sprayer. It has got the little topper on it because the thistles are real bad at the moment. We're going to get stuck into them. Need to take the bale feeder off that tractor, put it on the Landini most probably, because I need to put the fertiliser spreader on and get some fert on. Well, it's still pretty hot during the day. These mornings are cooling off. We're not really under pressure, but we do need to get it on soon so we can get a good response for it. However, that will do it for this video, guys. A little bit of a catch up on what's been happening. It feels like I haven't picked up the camera for a while. I actually did get a new camera. This is a new one, so hopefully everything's worked pretty good. I did have trouble uploading, like the little link or the cord you plugged in kept falling out, and well, not falling out, but it was struggling to upload, and I also had trouble with the sound. So hopefully it's all good on this one, but I'll see you next time.